So this is how I transitioned from being a dropshipper to a successful agency owner. So in 2019, I got introduced into dropshipping. I was scrolling around, looking on YouTube, how can I make money online? Initially, I started selling shoes on eBay. I was a sneakerhead. I would sell sneakers on eBay, and that's what I was doing in high school. And, working a regular job, working with my dad, whatever I could do. And then, 2 years into college, I realized that there has to be something more into this, right? I can't just go to college and graduate and get a normal job. I mean, that's completely fine. I have nothing against that, and that was my plan. But I figured there has to be something else, right? So came across a Facebook ad, an average Tai Lopez ad, here in my garage ad, and had the agency model, social media marketing agency in my head. Anyways, transitioned to dropshipping. First store was a fail. Second store was like semi-fail. I was running ads through like boosted ads on Instagram when they got introduced. And we all know as marketers that doesn't work, and people still do that to this day. It works for engagement, but not for, conversions. Anyways, would reach out to meme pages, would get my stuff posted on them. It did pretty well. And then my third store, I was able to scale to 20K a month. Sold that store. It was a seasonal product, I believe. But that was like my first kind of like success. And then I was like, if I could do this, I could definitely do it with another product. Tested a couple products, didn't work. And then in 2019, I had my first 100K month, my first six-figure month. Before that, I had a $70,000 month with a different store, and then was doing that. And then I ran into some issues late in 2020. I wasn't doing it consecutively every single month, right? I would have some bad months, but then like during the holiday season or some different months in the summer, I would have like these big uptick months. Anyways, I ran into some issues with supplier chain issues. They were rising the cost, and then I ran into some payment gateway issues with PayPal and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, that's a whole different story, but they held a lot of money from me. And then that kind of like turned me away from dropshipping. And then I would post sometimes my results on Instagram, and then, I would have people would ask me like, hey, like, can you run my ads for me? And then I saw agencies exist, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty good at running ads, and I like doing it, and I like looking at, KPIs and, metrics and like what makes people buy from an ad and targeting and all that little stuff. So I was like, let me see if I could like run ads for people. So I started doing that. My first client was one of my friends. He runs a successful business. I could always talk about that later on, but for his privacy, I'm not going to say it. Anyways, I ran his ads, was getting good results for him. He started telling his friends. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could like start doing this. I was charging completely wrong in the beginning. I did not know what to charge. And then like 2021 was finishing up school. Keep in mind, I'm a full-time college student during this. And then, I started doing that. I was still like marketing with some clients, a couple clients a month, focusing in on them while being a full-time student and still running like a little dropshipping business. But then in 2022, when I finished school, and was still running my dropshipping business, I was like, let me focus just on the agency and still on my e-commerce brand. So I was like, all right, so I started from now, a year ago, I started my only marketing agency. We focus on media buying, other web development stuff, as well as creating, Facebook business shops, TikTok shops, anything with e-commerce, but strictly it's on content and media buying. Long story short, I started with a couple clients, and what goes a long way with running a marketing agency is communication. Make sure that's up there. It's not just about running ads for a client and not caring, but communication and of course caring about their business, because I look at it as that I'm being a partner in their business now, right? So I have to care about everything in their business, what's going on, and not just someone that, just runs their ads and leaves, right? So I like to be looked at as a partner within their business, right? So if their business does good, I'm doing good just as well. So for example, the pros and cons with running a marketing agency or a dropshipping business. Let's start off with dropshipping. Dropshipping, I think it's a little bit easier to scale. The pros for dropshipping is like, it's a little bit easier to scale, maybe a little bit less work than an agency, just because when you're running an agency, it's just like you're really put on the line there to get your client results, right? And then communication is another thing that takes up time, meetings and all that sort of stuff. But with dropshipping, you know, you're kind of with yourself. You have like maybe a little team, like content and whatever it is. You know, it's just you yourself. And the cons would be, you know, obviously competition, just like any other field, bans, restrictions, all that sort of stuff you go through with dropshipping. And then another issue with dropshipping is you can never forecast your future, right? Like you can't say like what you're going to be doing next month in terms of sales. You know, you never know. Like your business can just turn into that overnight. Yeah, so you can never like forecast your sales within dropshipping. But with on the agency side, at least, you know, like, hey, I'm signing up a client, they're paying me every single month for the next 6 months, and this is the set amount. We agreed on this percentage of, you know, return on ad spend, and this is what I'm going to be getting. So I think that, you know, at least you know that it's a reoccurring payment that comes every month. And of course, you know, based on your results, you get a percentage, you know, based on how you structure your deal. But that's kind of an example of how I structure my deals with my clients. But yeah, that's a pro, another pro for an agency. And I mean, and the cons with an agency is, of course, it's like, you know, you're obviously a partner with someone else's business, and, you know, your results matter at the end of the day. So you have to make sure you live up to the results. And of course, that another con within that is that, you know, you're working, I guess, more hours on the agency side, just because, you know, as many clients as you have, whatever work it is that you have to put with that. But one thing that has changed around my agency was I made sure I brought team members in my team to delegate tasks, right? For example, I have a content person, I have a web development team, I have a design team. Now that when you have those teams incorporated, it makes you more precise on your work, higher quality work, and of course now you have a little bit of freedom that you don't have to be doing everything, right? So making sure that you have a good team with you is a big reason why you could succeed with an agency, and you can scale because you can take on more clients because you know you have a team behind you. But when you start an agency, you know, if you put all the tasks on yourself, which I've done before, you start to run out, right? You start to drain out, and, you know, there's only so much you can do as a person. And of course, to keep the quality up there. And I think that's the biggest part, is keeping the quality up. But yeah, so that's kind of how I started and transitioned from running a successful dropshipping business and started off with my agency business, right? You know, you start off slow and you scale up. But within the first 3 months, I was able to scale my agency and make it a 6-figure agency within the first 3 to 4 months. So yeah, that's how I did it. And that's kind of my story, guys. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions and what type of videos you guys want to see. If you guys want to know more about how, you know, my high school days, or how when I started working. But yeah, that's kind of how I transitioned from running a dropshipping business to running an agency, and as well as an e-commerce brand, because I still am in e-commerce. It's just it's less dropshipping and more of a brand, and of course my marketing agency. So if you guys have any questions on, you know, anything about running an agency or anything like that, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to this channel, guys. I'm going to be trying to make content every single week, whether it's agency, e-commerce content, whatever you guys would like to see, or just tips in general. And follow my Instagram, Adel Shakir, and click the link down below if you're a business looking to run ads for your e-commerce business or retail business. Click the link down below, schedule a call with me and my team, and we'll take a look at your business and see what we can do for you. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.